Hauling the weight of global commerce, the trucking industry is gearing up for its greatest challenge yet. With the arrival of 2025, the stakes are higher than ever, with regulatory landmines, technological tidal waves, and economic uncertainty still looming. Now, will the industry's titans rise to the challenge, or will new players disrupt the status quo? Join us as we explore the top 10 concerns that define the trucking industry's next chapter. Now, as we start this thing, one concern towers above the rest: the economy. Which of course makes sense. The American Trucking Research Institute, or ATRI, researchers have sounded the alarm, citing rising operational costs, a stagnant freight market, and dwindling freight rates that make the economy a top concern for motor carriers and drivers alike. In a bombshell revelation, ATRI's research exposed a staggering 22% increase in trucking industry costs over the past 2 years, marking the highest recorded cost in the study's 16-year history, and sounding the alarm for industry stakeholders. With unflinching honesty, these researchers confronted the harsh realities facing the trucking industry, and many have acknowledged how tough it is to run a trucking company. Now, what made the bleak economy even worse for truckers in 2025 is the boom times that was just had a few years ago. Yet most have remained optimistic ahead of the new year, emphasizing that fleets can thrive by focusing on strategic freight selection, customer loyalty, and driver satisfaction. Number 2. Truck parking. As if rising costs and stagnant freight rates weren't enough, truckers are now facing a safety crisis of epic proportions: the complete lack of decent truck parking in 2025. The struggle is real. Finding a safe and convenient place to park is a daily challenge for truckers. It's been an issue that's been on the top of all the minds of drivers and anyone in the trucking industry as a whole, ranking among ATRI's top 5 concerns every year since 2015. While challenges remain, it is promising to see substantial progress being made in this area. In a significant step forward, the U.S. Department of Transportation allocated over $292 million in grants for the first half of 2024 to develop a cutting-edge track parking information system. Now, this trailblazing solution is expected to unlock unprecedented trucking parking capacity along Interstate 5, spanning Washington, Oregon, and California. Number 3. Lawsuit abuse reform. Amidst a multitude of challenges, lawsuit abuse reform stands out as a persistent thorn in the trucking industry's side. For the first time in 20 years, lawsuit abuse reform is the top concern in ATRI's annual survey. That's a big deal. Rampant lawsuit abuse and nuclear verdicts are taking a devastating toll on trucking operations, causing widespread disruption. Exorbitant payouts spread financial pain throughout the trucking industry, driving up insurance costs and operating expenses. And the ripple effect doesn't stop there. Lawsuit abuse also siphons resources from businesses, stifling innovation, and ultimately harms consumers and the job market. Furthermore, lawsuit abuse inflicts a crippling tort tax on Americans, stifling economic growth and leading to a widespread job loss and reduced GDP. Number 4. Insurance cost and availability. Adding to the trucking industry's woes are skyrocketing insurance premiums, which continue to be a big problem. For 2 decades, insurance cost and availability has remained a pressing issue, appearing in the top 10 list in the inaugural survey and again in 2021. According to ATRI's ongoing research, truck insurance premiums paid by motor carriers have continued to rise steadily. As a result, many trucking companies are finding it impossible to secure affordable insurance, stifling their growth and fleet expansion plans. Now, it's not a coincidence that lawsuit abuse reform shows that excessive litigation is a major driver of premium increases. Interestingly, though, the 2024 survey revealed a razor-thin margin of just 25 votes between lawsuit abuse reform and insurance cost and availability, which further demonstrates the intricate link between the two. Number 5. Driver compensation. At the heart of the trucking industry's concern in 2025 lies a critical question: are drivers going to be fairly compensated? Fair driver compensation is essential for driver satisfaction, retention, and ultimately the success of driving companies. Tragically, the very people who keep the wheels of commerce turning are often feel like they're not getting a fair shake, with stagnant wages and meager benefits. Although ATRI's 2024 operational cost of trucking research revealed a 7.6% industry-wide increase in driver wages, smaller fleets with 25 trucks or less actually experienced a decline in driver pay due to falling freight rates. Now, to attract and keep skilled drivers in 2025, carriers must focus on creating a compelling total compensation package, including regular pay increases, performance bonuses, and comprehensive benefits. Number 6. Battery electric vehicles. Now, electrifying heavy-duty trucking is a tall order to be sure, and the government's timelines are adding to the pressure, which is why battery electric vehicles are now a top 10 issue. Although battery electric vehicles are the future of trucking, this game-changing technology also raises important questions about infrastructure, cost, and more. ATRI identified several pain points in the transition to electric trucks, including higher costs and less cargo room, largely due to the massive weight of the batteries required to power them. To match the hauling capacity of diesel equipment, more electric vehicles would be required, which could impact operational efficiency. Now, it's clear the industry is committed to reducing its carbon footprint, and the progress made is impressive. A 98% reduction in emissions from new trucks since the 80s is by no means a small feat. Now, moving on to number 7. CSA, Compliance, Safety, and Accountability. As the trucking industry shifts into high gear in 2025, navigating the intricate web of compliance, safety, and accountability regulations remains a top priority. After 1-year hiatus, Compliance, Safety, and Accountability (CSA) returned to ATRI's top 10 list in 2024, underscoring its ongoing importance in the trucking industry. Since its rollout in 2009, CSA has undergone several changes, yet carriers persist in expressing concerns about the fairness and reliability of the FMCSA's safety evaluation process. Many in the trucking industry feel CSA's scoring system is a bit of a minefield, describing it as hard to understand and easy to get penalized. To alleviate concerns and promote compliance, CSA metrics must be simplified and clear guidance provided in 2025, striking a balance between safety and operational efficiency. Number 8. Detention delay at customer facilities. Being detained or having delays at customer facilities emerge as another major headache for truckers in 2025, which amplifies existing concerns. Truckers are losing precious time to detention and delays at customer facilities. This issue has been on ATR's radar since 2019, when it ranked number 4, and it's still a top concern today at number 8. Loading dock delays are a double whammy also. They waste time and money and leave drivers frustrated and deliveries late. The detention dilemma is costing the industry big time. We're talking 135.9 million hours of lost productivity and a whopping $11 billion in revenue that vanished into thin air in 2023. But that's not all. Detention also has a darker side. ATRI's research revealed that drivers who were detained ended up driving 14.6% faster than those who weren't, which poses a serious safety risk. Moving on to number 9. Driver shortage. Now we've come to a big one. There's just not that many drivers in the industry now. And that's been a problem that's been driving everyone crazy for years. But guess what? The driver shortage isn't as huge of a concern as it used to be. Brewster dropped a bombshell to MCE. The driver shortage has never been less of a concern in ATRI's 20-year history. ATRI's research shows that economic and regulatory headaches are now the biggest concern for the trucking industry. With the freight recession still in full swing, fleets are pumping the brakes on hiring this year. Now, you'd think the freight recession would give the industry a bit of a break, but the driver shortage is still a big problem. And as a matter of fact, ATRI estimates 60,000 driver jobs are still unfilled, and that number is likely to grow when freight demand picks up again. Number 10. Driver distraction. Now, as we pump the brakes on our 2025 Trucking Concerns series, one issue remains at the top: driver distraction. Driver distraction first appeared on the scene in 2014, but then it fell off the radar until 2023, when it popped up back again at number 7. Interestingly enough, though, law enforcement respondents to the 2024 survey ranked driver distraction as their number 1 concern. Distracted driving is a serious safety risk. Whether it's something inside or outside of the truck cab, distractions can be deadly, such as texting, phone calls, dispatching devices, snacking, reading, or fiddling with radio. The cost of distraction is so devastating that in 2022 alone, 3,308 lives were lost in distraction-related traffic crashes, according to the report from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. The trucking industry's success in 2025 depends on its ability to tackle these pressing challenges through innovation, collaboration, and strategic planning. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the trucking industry's biggest concerns in 2025. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe to this channel, and share around to family and friends.